President Zelenskyy is ready for a ceasefire in Ukraine. Donald Trump is also ready to reach a ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin is losing his allies in Syria. So, how President Zelenskyy is ready to reach a ceasefire in Ukraine, and why does Vladimir Putin is losing his biggest ally, Bashar al-Assad, in Syria? So, President Zelenskyy, for the first time, said that he is ready to reach a ceasefire in Ukraine if Ukraine joins NATO, and if Ukraine-controlled territories are joined in NATO, are becoming a member of NATO. That's why he would be ready to end this war. He said this for the first time in a Sky News interview. So President Zelenskyy is ready to reach a ceasefire with Russia if Ukraine becomes a member of NATO, but if the Article 5 is being activated only for those territories which are controlled by the Ukrainian army. So that's why also Russia's occupied territories, which are occupied by Russia, would not be recognized as a Russian one. No one in the West will not recognize these territories as Russians. However, Ukraine will commit and will promise to liberate occupied territories only by diplomatic means. That's why President Zelenskyy is ready for such a plan for a ceasefire, but in case of strong, bold security guarantees, membership in NATO. Meanwhile, the people around Donald Trump, Kit Kellogg, also has proposed his own plan for a ceasefire in Ukraine. Trump's administration will seek a ceasefire in this conflict as soon as possible. So according to the CNN, Kate Kellogg will push a ceasefire in Ukraine and creation of demilitarized zone. A demilitarized zone will be created between in the front line between Ukrainian and Russian forces. Ukraine will not join NATO, will be banned to join NATO. However, Trump's administration will provide Ukraine with strong security guarantees and will provide Ukraine with all means which would be important for Ukraine to deter another Russian attack. So security assistance for Ukraine would be provided by the United States. However, Ukraine will not join NATO. The United States and its allies will not recognize territories which have been occupied by Russia as a Russian one. However, Ukraine will not be able to liberate these territories by military means. Ukraine will be able to liberate such territories in the future by diplomatic means after the Putin's departure, according to the Kate Kellogg. As we know, Kate Kellogg will become Donald Trump's special envoy for Ukraine and Russia and will work as Donald Trump's special assistant. And this plan is being discussed among people near Donald Trump. However, it is still unknown what kind of security guarantees Donald Trump is ready to provide Ukraine with and how would they look like. At the same time, former NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says that he would support a ceasefire in Ukraine if Ukraine is being provided with strong security guarantees. However, he said that Ukraine will not join NATO. It will be difficult to do so. However, strong and bold security guarantees would be provided to Ukraine to deter another Russian aggressor in the future. And this is a key for any kind of a ceasefire deal, because why does it have any kind of sense to reach a ceasefire if Russia will use such a ceasefire to regroup and attack Ukraine again in the future? That's why Ukraine really needs strong security guarantees to deter another Russian aggression in the future and to prevent Putin from using this ceasefire to attack Ukraine again. That's why President Zelenskyy has proposed his victory plan, which consists of providing Ukraine with non-nuclear strategic weapons and other bold security guarantees which will help Ukraine to deter another aggression in the future. So Ukraine is ready for a ceasefire if Ukraine is invited to join NATO and if Article 5 will be activated only for Ukrainian-controlled territories. And that's why Putin will not attack Ukraine again in the future, because in such case all NATO members will be obliged and will have to fight Russia in Ukraine. That's why if Ukraine joins NATO, and also this model has been used with the Western and with the West and East Germany, and that's how Ukraine can join NATO, and that's how a ceasefire could be reached. However, it is still unknown if Western leaders are ready to invite Ukraine to join NATO in exchange of a ceasefire. However, Ukraine does not have any kind of other choice but to seek strong security guarantees, because if Russia uses a ceasefire to organize another attack, it would be really harmful for Ukraine's future prosperity and for Ukraine's war effort. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has visited Kiev today and met with President Zelenskyy. However, he criticized the idea of providing Ukraine with long-range Taurus missiles. So German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has refused to provide Ukraine with Taurus missiles for another time. However, let's hope that the change of power in Germany will change this course, because Friedrich Merz, head of the opposition party in Germany, could become the next German Chancellor. And he said that he will issue an ultimatum for Putin. He said, stop killing Ukrainian civilians and stop bombard civilian infrastructure. And if you do not do that, we will provide Ukraine with long-range Taurus missiles. However, Olaf Scholz is afraid of speaking seriously with Donald Trump, with Vladimir Putin. That's why a serious regime change and serious change of power is really needed in Germany in that time when German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is afraid of serious diplomacy with Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. At the same time, Vladimir Putin is losing his position in Syria as rebels have captured the second largest city in Syria, Aleppo. So Syrian rebels, with the support of the Turkish government, have captured Aleppo, and this attack has been a big surprise for Bashar al-Assad Syrian regime, who has been using chemical weapons against Syrian civilians. And Bashar al-Assad is a big friend and key ally of Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. Russian forces have already started to bomb Syria, to invade Syria. At the same time, we have seen that it's really isn't so useful, because rebels continues to move forward and will try to capture even Damascus. And Ukrainian intelligence has reported that Russian diplomats and military leaders have been fleeing from Damascus because of the fear of being captured by the Syrian rebels. But we will try to keep eye on Syria and to continue to analyze most important news from Syria. At the same time, Putin is losing his positions in Georgia as peaceful protests are being continued, as the Georgian government refused to continue European integration of Georgia to the European Union despite the will of the Georgian people. And in the end of our conversation, we will cover U.S. internal politics. U.S. President Joe Biden has made important decision to and signed a pardon for his son Hunter Biden. So Hunter Biden will not has been pardoned by U.S. President Joe Biden. Earlier, Biden promised not to do that. However, he has lost recent elections, and that's why he has more free space to do whatever he wants. However, Donald Trump has criticized this move and said that it is an unjust move, and suggested that he can also issue a pardon for January 6 protesters who have been sentenced and persecuted by the United States government. And this interesting story is being developing right now, but we will keep our eye on this news, and we will reach you out and we'll analyze and let you know about the latest development around the globe. So that's all for today. Stay with us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and Glory to Ukraine!